Gotta get the link. Every single week I do this.
What'd you do?
Insta every time I try to do the Instagram story, I forget how Instagram works. Oh, you scheduled for 5:56? Oh, nope. We're good. I got it. Everything's fine. Everyone calm down.
No. Cincinnati sues quarterback Brendan Sorsby for $1 million transfer buyout.
Jeez. Give me one more second. There we go. I figured it out. And then next Tuesday, when we do this again, and I inevitably forget how Instagram works. Good Lord.
Dookie.
Almost there. Okay. Oy.
Let's go.
We are 122, ready to go. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Warrior House Podcast, where Warrior Pride lives. I'm your host, Ryan Reingard, joined by my co-host, Mike Sangster. Thanks for joining us on episode 122 of the Warrior House Podcast. Rolling on out, Sangster. I was thinking as I sat down at my desk and looked out the window that it wasn't that long ago that it was pitch black when we hit the record button, and it's
Yeah.
kind of sunny now, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, now it's like summer 7:30, 8 o'clock vibes right now, and I'm definitely here for it.
Yeah, it's very, very nice change of pace for us. So, before we get into the all the athletics news that has happened over the last week, and there's a pretty good amount of it, so we'll get into that. But we definitely wanted to talk about some campus news. This almost quietly got announced, but as of yesterday, which would have been February 24th, Robert Bierschbach is has been appointed as the 14th president of Wayne State
Ri
University. I almost said of the United States.
Richard Biersbach.
Richard, thank you. So he was interim for those who haven't been following along. He's been the interim president since September, I believe. And the Board of Governors voted. It was a unanimous vote. He was elected to be the 14th president. So I don't know the entirety of the search that happened, if they went nationwide, if they just decided to have the first discussion of is this our next president? And well, a unanimous vote says everything that you need to hear is everybody likes what they've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read some more on the some of the news articles that have come out, but it looks like they didn't go the route that they did last time, with Dr. Espy doing a national search. It looks like I'm sure they did some kind of due diligence, you know, seeing what other candidates were out there, but in the end, they felt that in his interim role, uh, President Biersbach was the right guy to lead the university going forward. It looks like he has a 4-year deal, is what's being reported right now. So that's kind of in line with uh, what we were expecting with Dr. Espy. Also interesting that he's an attorney, graduated from University of Michigan and Michigan Law. Uh, Also, he's the first non-medical doctor or psychologist, in the case of Dr. Espy, that they've had since Alan Gilmore was the president, right when we were starting out at Wayne State from about 2011 to 2013. So really good stuff. Really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table and what the direction for Wayne State is going to be over the next few years.
Yeah, and of course, this is for those who have not been following along very long. You are listening to a podcast about everything that has to do with Wayne State athletics first and foremost, and secondary is all the other things going on around campus. Athletics is what we like. So, welcome if you're listening for the first time. I haven't seen anything concrete about what his thoughts and plans are as it pertains to athletics. I looked for a little while. I did a little searching, trying to find what I can. I haven't found anything, so it's possible that maybe there's some sort of channel that we can get some questions out there, just get some thoughts, any sort of talking points from him, opinions, whatever it is. I would love to know a little bit more. And maybe we will hear a little bit more now that interim title has been stripped. Maybe because you know that you're going to be around for a little while, we'll start to talk a little bit more, hear a little bit more about what his plans are, what he thinks of athletics outside of the one thing that I found, which is, he's been seen quoting the economic impact of major sports, which is not really much of a story in of itself, but like as it pertains to D2 athletics at Wayne State, what does that look like for him and what does he want to see?
Yeah, and it does go back to for the overwhelming majority of colleges, no matter the level, athletics in most cases is not going to, be a profit driver, but it certainly helps with university image, uh, I guess university cohesiveness, certainly opens up uh, the university to students that might not otherwise come here. Look at all the fencers we have from overseas, tennis players from overseas. Um, Also, just viewing athletics as the front door to your university, I'm sure with a Michigan background that there's at least a little bit of that in him.
Yeah, you would think so. So excited to see what comes out of that. We'll definitely keep our eye out for any sort of news coming out as it pertains to athletics from the new and 14th president of Wayne State University, Richard
Also,
Bierschbach.
for whatever it's worth, I did notice he was on the sideline in the courtside seats at one of the basketball games. I don't think it was. It might have been last time we were out. I can't remember, but he was definitely at one of the games recently.
Yep, I think you're right. So good stuff
Yep.
there. All right, so thanks for taking a look back. The first thing we'll start with softball team. The Wayne State softball team was at the Lewis Indoor Tournament. And back on Thursday, they took on Concordia St. Paul. St. Paul wins that one by a final score of 6-5. Near win for Wayne State in this one. Hunter Near for Wayne State gets 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. It may be time to say keep your eye out for her this season. She's kind of been doing some big stuff early on so far this season. Moving right along later on Thursday, Wayne State takes on the host, Lewis, and Wayne State wins that one by a final score of 8-3. And the Hool sisters went off in this one. Molly, Maddie, and Mia. They totaled 7 hits and 2 RBIs in this game. So, fun fact about the Wayne State softball team: I don't actually know if they're, I don't know if they're technically triplets or if they're. I know they're sisters for sure, but like regardless, we have the Hool sisters on the Wayne State softball team, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I just noticed now that all of their initials are MH. Actually, a former Wayne State football player, Justin Toxin. I was actually family friends with them. We went to scouts way long time ago. That's the same way it was in his family. That everybody in their family was named JT, and it was just a little bit of a fun fact there about my life. Uh, but anyway, the Wayne State softball team follows it up on a Friday against Minnesota Duluth, and unfortunately, Minnesota Duluth took Wayne State's lunch money in this one. They end up winning that one 12-0. The game happened. It's in the record books. Wayne State moves on though. Saturday against Quincy, Wayne State goes out and beats Quincy 11-7. In extra innings, Sydney Long had a grand slam bomb to win this one. Walk off in the bottom of the 10th inning.
Yeah, I mean, a very exciting way to finish out that game. I remember following along with that one a little bit and saw that like, well, that's certainly a way to do it. And then closing out Saturday night, Wayne State takes on Winona State. Winona State wins that one by a final score of 5-2. Wayne State just had no bats in this one. I think they had 4 hits, and that's just tough to see. But then you also see that Winona State is currently 7-1, so they're a very good team. And after 5 games over 3 days, I'm sure our team was a little bit tired. Maybe we don't have the level of depth that Winona has. I don't know, but yeah, Winona State comes out and really just ended out I would still say a pretty good a good week for the Wayne State softball team. we don't know what this team has yet, but being able to get some wins in there, play it close in some of them. That one bad one against Minnesota Duluth isn't fantastic to see, but you know, not too bad.
Yeah, the rest pretty good against some good competition in the Midwest region. Moving on to the other diamond sport, we got baseball. They had a weekend series against Lewis, but played in Millington, Tennessee. This was a 4-game series, and Wayne State won it. They started out Friday, winning 10-5. Uh, Caleb Sanders, player of the game, I think, he was swinging for real. He had 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 RBIs, and uh, 2 SOs. I'm trying to go back to baseball. What was an SO?
I got a couple strikeouts in there. Yeah. So like
Oh, okay.
he was swinging for real. Like he was either
Yeah.
going to get struck out or he was going to hit the fence. Like either way. Yeah. I mean, just those are some, those numbers tell you like his job was swing.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Moving on to Saturday, this was the doubleheader of the series. Lewis ends up taking the first game, 4-1. It was really a rough game for Wayne State. They only got 3 hits on the entire game, but they show up in the second game of the doubleheader, winning it 8-4. Bats came to play here. They got 11 hits. Drew Hill was definitely the big bat in this one, and finishing it up on Sunday, Wayne State ends up winning this one 6-4. Rhett Rozier and Tony Hatzigiorgio showed up at the plate. They got 3 hits each. So really solid series, I think, for Wayne State. Good way to start off your season with a series win.
No doubt. And, as we kind of start to get into softball and baseball season, it's definitely going to sound like we kind of like sort of blow through it a little bit. We'll definitely get some of the highlights in there, but we know as we get closer to the back half of March, definitely into April, that's where softball and baseball really take center stage. So we want to
Yeah.
try to save it a little bit. We'll make sure to cover up and cover as much as we can, talk about some of the highlights here and there. But other than that, we'll continue to follow along with softball and baseball. But the sport that we can't not center everything around right now is basketball. Back on Thursday, the Wayne State women's basketball team took on Roosevelt. Wayne State wins this one by a final score of 94-73, 94 freaking points. Like that's quite impressive. Gabby Lutchka and Taylor Thompson total up for 54 points between the two of them. Gabby Lutchka 5 for 6 from three. Like that is just uh, unbelievable number. We don't see that very often. Those types of numbers, and then own the free throw line. I mean, they got there, they hit their shots, and at the end of the day, you got a 21-point win. Everything went Wayne State's way in this one. And honestly, when you put up 73 against Roosevelt, it kind of just tells me like, yeah, I mean, Roosevelt was just shooting the ball. They were moving it fast. They knew that they were down. They had to play fast offense and try to score some points to keep up. It's going to happen unless they're really cold and just really not making shots. They're going to score some points, and that's what happened. But very necessary win for Wayne State in this one.
Yeah, and Wayne, despite the score, Wayne State did end up dominating this entire game, especially the second quarter, 21-16. But Wayne State led in every single quarter. Wasn't really a doubt for the victors here, but Roosevelt did put up a good fight in this one. Wayne State was just the better team, and really, really what we want to see out of them at the end of the season going into postseason play. But moving on to the Saturday game, Wayne State was at Parkside, and this one was a little bit closer. Wayne State ends up still winning this one 63-54. Again, Gabby Luchka with another huge game, 20 points. McKenna Ferguson, another big game, 17 points, 9 rebounds, almost got a double-double there. And again, McKenna's not exactly the tallest person on the court right now, but to have that many rebounds in this game, nothing short of fantastic. Another pretty good day, not as good as the day against Roosevelt here. Wayne State ends up shooting 41% overall, 33% from three, and 70.6% from the free throw line. So still another game there. Wayne State was able to go out to Kenosha, handle their business against a team that has in the past given them fits. But good to see that, Wayne State was still able to hold on for this win here.
Yeah, again, a very necessary win in this one. I mean,
Yes.
a game that the Wayne State women's basketball team definitely needed. And boy, we dodged one here because 24 turnovers for Wayne State.
Mm.
Not the most amazing number that you want to see. We out rebounded Parkside, which is fantastic, but I mean, Parkside was 14% from 3-point land. If they even had a decent day, we'd have been sweating this one out. And this is not a game that we really wanted to sweat out. So we definitely dodged one. I feel good about that. But at the end of the day, ain't no apologizing for wins. It's just definitely one of those like there's some things that we can improve, and there's some things that we definitely have to improve on because we're going to be talking GLIAC postseason here, not this episode, but next episode. So some things to figure out, but nonetheless, really good, necessary. I know I keep saying it, a very necessary win for Wayne State, and they get to sweep the weekend series. Somehow we did miss this last week, though, thanks to that McKenna Ferguson joined the 1,000 point club for Wayne State as a junior. That's impressive.
Yeah, really good stuff from her. Right now, as of the last two games, she is sitting at 1,041 points. I'm pulling up the record book right now. But yeah, really outstanding stuff. If everything goes according to plan, I think there's a strong possibility that she can end this season with over 1,100 points. Uh, and just kind of projecting ahead to her future. Presumably, she has one more year at Wayne State. God willing, everything goes well next season. She is, I'd say, projecting to finish in the top five for career scoring at Wayne State. Definitely challenging for the number one spot. And we'll talk a little bit more about the 1,000 point club at Wayne State right now. But the leading overall career score is Monique Johnson with 1,439 points over 5 seasons at Wayne State, starting in '88 and ending in 1993. Number two is a player that we're pretty familiar with, Nastasha Chambers. From 2016 to 2020, she has 1,389. So certainly, if things go well with the rest of this with this season and going into next year, we could see some really big things from McKenna Ferguson. And on top of that, we'll be talking a little bit more about the 1,000 point club in the next segment because we got some more 1,000 point score watches to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about it. We got two more regular season games. We have at least one GLIAC tournament game, ideally more. Depending on how all of that goes, you might be looking at an NCAA tournament game. So there's a lot of opportunities for McKenna to really start to stack up some points. At the end of the day, all of this is in support of this women's basketball team continuing
Yep.
to push forward and get to where they deserve, in my mind. Everything we've seen from them, we'll definitely talk about that. So good stuff from McKenna Ferguson and the Wayne State women's basketball team. And then sliding on over to the Wayne State men's basketball team. Back on Thursday, they headed over to take on Roosevelt, and Wayne State wins 92-85. Carlos Paul III and Jalen Jenkins total up for 45 points between the two of them. Jalen Jenkins seems to have been coming on as of late, which is a very welcoming sign. I'm going to talk a little bit about some guard play here in the second half as well, saying, so I know we're going to try to kind of get through the rest of this first, save a little bit of time for that, but it's very, very nice to see another guard really stepping up for Wayne State. I'm happy to see that. Wayne State was able to out rebound Roosevelt in this one 38-29. And when you look at a 7-point game, it's hard to say that did not play a difference. I mean, I didn't actually get the number of defensive or offensive rebounds total, but like you either, pulled the ball down and didn't give Roosevelt a second chance, or you pulled the ball down and gave yourself a second chance. Either way, it doesn't take many of those times to get up to 7 points.
Yeah, and this was a game I think where Wayne State definitely improved on their play from some other games, especially against the UP teams, which frankly are some of are the best teams in the GLIAC. I think I'm still not sold on Grand Valley, whatever. And even so, Wayne State didn't have a perfect day again, especially from the 3-point line. At this point, I've just come to expect it. Though they did have a really strong first half, 4 for 8, 50%. Unfortunately, couldn't follow it up in the second half, just 1 for 8. Still enough to win over Roosevelt in this one. I don't have Roosevelt's stats. It doesn't look like they gave them to us for some reason. Maybe they just didn't want to talk about this one. But still, a lot of great stuff. Like you said, Carlos Paul III, 25 points, 11 rebounds. He has a double double. Jalen Jenkins, 20 points. Who else? Jordy Briggs, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Jotham Nowecki, 11 points, 3 rebounds. And Marshall Thorne almost has a double double as well. He had 9 points, but 11 rebounds. So really good stuff against I think with Roosevelt, their record is not indicative of what they can do on their best day, but still Wayne State was able to go out to Chicago and handle business.
Yeah, and thank goodness they were able to do that because Wayne State then heads on over to take on Parkside. Parkside won that one by a final score of 77 to 66. And bad shooting, I think, kind of cost us in this one. Wayne State went about 18% from the 3-point line, well, basically 1 out of 3 from the field goal line, right at 33%. And those numbers are not the most amazing. I talk about rebounding a lot as being a very, very important part of the game, at least to me. And Wayne State did out rebound Parkside in this one by, a pretty significant margin, 43 to 34. So pretty decent there, but we just didn't make any shots. I mean, that's kind of the bummer in this one. Jordan Briggs and Jotham Nowicki go for 14 and 13 points each. I'll call him out every time he does great things. Jotham Nowicki gets the double-double in this one by pulling down 10 rebounds. Also, Marshall Thorne almost got there with 12 rebounds. He's also been a just kind of a little bit of force in the paint lately, and another welcoming sign. I have some thoughts on that we'll talk about here in the second half, but just a bummer in this one. It really is. I mean, it makes this next weekend that we're going to be talking about here in the second half that much more sweaty, as I like to say.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yes, Jordan Briggs was the leading scorer on the day, 14 points. I mean, yes, it's great that he got to the free throw line and he was perfect on all 8 of his free throws on that day. Unfortunately, 0 for 6 from the 3-point line and just 3 for 15 overall. So it's tough. Yes, it was a really good day at the charity stripe. You'd like to think that maybe if something happens a little better with him actually shooting the ball, that this one might go around in Wayne State's favor. Unfortunately, it does not go that way. And like you said, this next 2 games coming up are going to be huge for Wayne State now.
Yeah, they're going to be big ones. So bummer there for the Wayne State men's basketball team, but that just sets up a big time weekend that we're going to be talking about in the second half. Really quickly, we're going to talk about the Wayne State women's track and field team. They were at the SVSU tune-up and the GVSU tune-up. And the big names, big finishes from this one. Avery Wilson in the 60-meter dash gets second. Audrey Huizinga in the 200-meter dash gets second. Megan Zanaug in the 60-meter hurdle, she gets first. Ava Steinebel gets first in the high jump. Nicole Warren gets third in the long jump. Nicole Warren also gets first in the triple jump. And then finally, Taylor Morrison gets third in the shot put. So couple of familiar names in that one, but those are all podium finishes. I mean, we're fresh off the Olympics. We know what podium finishes are. They're good enough to get your flag raised up to the rafters and get you a fancy medal. And in this case, I don't think either of those get to happen, but it's still good to see that, it's called the tune-up for a reason because we have, I don't think this coming weekend, but the following weekend, we got some track and field postseason action coming up, if I'm not mistaken. So
yep, we'll check on that for next segment. But yeah, big stuff coming up, and congratulations to all those ladies competing at the SVSU and GVSU tune-ups. Men's tennis was also in action over the weekend and just earlier today, and big wins for them all around. First on Friday, they were playing Fairmont State in Charleston, West Virginia, capital of West Virginia. Wayne State ends up winning this one 6-1. And Wayne State ends up getting the doubles point and then wins 3 singles events. George Day, Thomas Mathis, and Harry Forsyth had some pretty comfortable wins. The 3 other singles went deep into the third set, but of those, Wayne State only dropped 1. Also in Charleston,
I think this was actually taken on Charleston.
Yes, actually taking on Charleston in Charleston. Wayne State won this one 4-1. Again, Wayne State got the doubles point here, and then with 2 quick singles wins with George Day and Louis Klaus, and then Thomas Mathis followed it up with a win there, and that was it. They ended the event after that one.
Yeah, it was good stuff over the weekend for the Wayne State men's tennis team. And then earlier today, actually, at time of recording again, it's Wednesday for us. Earlier today, the Wayne State men's tennis team took on Tiffin. Beautiful city in Ohio. If you get the chance, go. Wayne State wins that one by a final score of 5-2. We got the doubles point. Tom Wasner, Thomas Mathis, and Sam Knowles were able to win their singles events in 2 sets. Louis Klaus wins his singles event in 3. And then the other 2 singles events Tiffin was able to get, but a very comfortable win for the Wayne State men's tennis team to finish off a fantastic week. I mean, 3 straight wins, 2 of them out of town, 1 of them against a host team in their own facility, you would assume. So that's really cool to see. This tennis team is off to a really good start. Excited to see what happens with them And before we get to what's coming up here, Sanks, we got one final sport, a very cool one, and some pretty impressive finishes in this one. And this is the Wayne State men's and women's fencing team. They were at the Central Collegiate Fencing Championships, both in Granville, Ohio, hosted by Denison. I've never been to Denison. I had to look it up on a map last week to find out that it's east of Columbus. Never been there. Would love to go one day.
Yeah, and really big stuff from the men here. They end up finishing second as a team, I think just behind Ohio State and I think Northwestern, if I remember reading it correctly. I could be totally wrong. But in Epee, Mahmoud won it all. He got first place. Cameron King got eighth. I should point out the top eight in each weapon win a medal. So again, Mahmoud, I'll say had won this one, and then Cameron King got eighth. In the foil, Lucas Tasal got seventh, and Mitchell Guttrell got eighth. And funny thing here is that the rest of the top six, they were all from the Ohio State University. So, you just see OSU, OSU, OSU. Wayne State gets the last two and the only other finishers in this event. And then finally, in Sabre, Ayad Maroof tied for third. So really good stuff from Wayne State here. Again, as a team that you know, doesn't necessarily have the resources that say Northwestern or Ohio State, or maybe even to an extent Detroit Mercy has. I don't really know what Detroit Mercy's situation is, but more along the lines of a school like Denison that isn't the biggest athletics school in the world, but still able to do really well in fencing against these other big teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And then over on the women's side in the epee, Rika Galfalvi gets first place in epee, and then Salma Abdrabu, I got that one right, gets second in epee. So good stuff there. And then over on the foil side, Annabella Aguero Gonzalez gets ties for third, and then Ludovica Mancini gets fifth. And we did post a thing recently about Annabella Aguero Gonzalez talking about her eligibility last season. I noticed that she was at the Donaghey Open, but she was unattached at that time to Wayne State, and that's just due to transcripts and all that sort of stuff. But she was committed to Wayne State at that time. She was going to be part of the Wayne State fencing program. All of that stuff just leads to we now have another fantastic fencer here with this Wayne State women's fencing team. So good stuff there. Good stuff all around. We definitely have some fencing coming up, not in the second half, but we'll be probably talking about them next week as well. But with that, Sangster, a very, very long first segment here. I know we had a lot of news coming up. We got a big time talk coming up here in the second half about Wayne State men's basketball. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, time to get my big time stats pulled up. Okay. Anything else you need?
I think we're good.
Cool. All righty. Oh, I see you got
Cool.
I see you got the note up there at the top for fencing.
Yep, I fixed it.
Okay. I'll let you start up then.
Okey-doke.
And we're back. So really quick, Sangster, I know you wanted to make a quick correction on fencing before we get into basketball. So give us some quick updates while I get some of my stats at the ready to talk about.
Yeah, so I only made a mistake on the third place team. So OSU did get first, Wayne State got second, and then Cleveland State, funny enough, Coach Andy Tolliner's old team ended up getting third in this one. So again, really big stuff from Wayne State here against a Big Ten team and a what are they, Horizon League team. So yeah, it is different when fencing is kind of in its own conference and has its own unique set of teams that compete with it, but still, Wayne State being able to compete uh, on a regional stage, I would like to think that some of these fencers are going to get into the Midwest regional at least.
Yeah, no doubt. So, yeah, a good correction there. Glad we were able to get that out. So, before we talk about what we have coming up, Sangster, you sent something to me recently from Central Michigan. It was posted on a Central Michigan Athletics social. I think it was on Instagram. It was Tamario Adley
He
just
was doing
sending
something
down an
cool.
absolute alley oop. It was really cool. And I was like, oh, I totally meant to check. How is he performing with the Central Michigan squad? And it also got me thinking about Rob Lee Jr. at Lamar and Carmelo Harris at UIndy. Here's what hurts about everything. All three of those players are the top scorer at their respective schools on their teams. That stinks a little bit. I mean, we lost some big time production, as as Wheatley would used to say.
We didn't
Um,
return a lot of production.
yeah, no, we did not. I mean, and it stinks a little bit. I mean, good for them. Like, I'm glad they're off. I'm glad they're performing very well for themselves, for their team, and all that. In the case of especially Rob Lee Jr. and Tamario Adley, who moved up to D1 and are still at this very very good level. That's awesome to see that. Even with Carmelo Harris, yeah, I mean, it hurts a lot. I just don't really love seeing
A
a player from
lateral
Wayne
move.
State. Yeah, exactly. You didn't move up. Who knows what all happened there? But that's the one that stinks a little bit to me.
Yeah, and whether it was a thing where if you Indy has money to give out, like one, how do we get that? But even if it was a thing where like maybe he just bet on himself, maybe thinking that there might be another, D1 type school that might have given him an offer, maybe it didn't work out, and for whatever reason, just not him coming back. I don't know if that's just a coaching philosophy or if it was kind of a mutual parting of the ways, whatever it is. Uh, Unfortunately, it's kind of life in D2 now that, yeah, sometimes, not always, but maybe your best players are at least going to go out and test the waters. So I don't know if it's something that just an attitude that has to change or if it's just incumbent on the staff now to make Wayne State such a great place that you wouldn't even think about doing that. But unfortunately, with the transfer portal and everything, it's just a fact of life now.
Yeah, and now that you said that, I think we can agree on I guess maybe you could debate two sides to this as a fact. Coach Smothers and his staff either know how to recruit quality guards or they know how to build quality guards. I don't know which one it is yet. It's one of the two, maybe even both. But what I just mentioned is we had three starting guards from last season that have gone to three different teams, and they are the top scorer for all three of those teams. Right now,
Yeah.
we got Jordan Briggs, and I mentioned in the first half that Jalen Jenkins is really coming on right now. Jordan Briggs is a fantastic guard. I mean, sometimes, his shooting's a little bit spotty. We'd like to see that boost a little bit, but when you see him out on the court and the way he's able to move the ball around, it feels like they found a really, really good floor general. Again, shooting leaves a little bit to be desired as of now. I hope that turns around. I hope it's just a little bit of a slump, but I think it's safe to say that they do a very good job on the guard front, which got me thinking, what are we not doing? What has this Wayne State men's basketball team not done in order to get to that level? If you have very good guards, of course, the other side of that's like, well, yeah, Ryan, it's the forwards and the centers, it's the depth, all of those things. Yes, it could absolutely be those things. But I wanted to figure out when you look at past GLIAC champions and top GLIAC schools since 2021, I didn't want to go back too far because,
Well,
so many things. I mean, the game has changed, portal, all of that sort of stuff has changed. I wanted to keep it recent enough. So, a couple of things for the last 5 seasons, again, going back to 2021, the regular season champion for the GLIAC has been top three in defensive scoring every season. So you have to have a good, it just statistically, you have to have a good defense. You got to be able to stop the other team from scoring points. As simple as that is. When we look at assist to turnover ratio, the regular season champion has ranked top three just 3 out of 5 times. So a little bit less of a correlation there. Looking down at field goal percentage, the regular season champ ranked top 3 in field goal percentage every season. So again, field goal percentage does not mean you're shooting the ball a lot. It just means you're making the highest percentage of shots that you put up. And I bring that up because there was a stat that I had in here. I got to find it really quick, which is offensive scoring is, that's a big one, which is the regular season champion ranked top 3 in offensive scoring only 3 out of 5 times. And I remember seeing one, I believe it was the 2021 to 22 season when Michigan Tech won it all. They were the 9th scoring offense. So that doesn't mean that you just can have a terrible offense and win it, but it means that it's possible. So as long as some of these other things are the case. Free throw percentage, a big one. You got to be top 3 in free throw percentage 4 out of 5 seasons. That's been the case. And then the one that I really wanted to focus on, because I've been talking about it so much, Sangster, the regular season champion in GLIAC men's basketball has finished positive in rebound margin 5 out of 5 seasons. That's a pretty open metric, but like basically means like if you're not winning the boards, you're not winning the GLIAC. If 4 straight years, if that's not the case, you're not winning the GLIAC. So I loved finding that one because you don't need a rebounding margin of 7. You don't need, but if you can just win the boards, statistically, it gives you enough of an advantage that you're going to be a lot better off. And so all of that to bring that around is it continues to drive home like my opinion of this Wayne State men's basketball team should be much better at rebounding. And they are a positive rebounding team right now, but it feels like it could be a little bit better with the size that we have. And all of these things that we're looking at on my stats here say, this is not a GLIAC champion team, and that's okay. But this tells me the things that like, this is what has happened previously in order to create a GLIAC champion.
Yeah, and I'd have to go back and look and see where Wayne State kind of ended up on some of the major categories that you're mentioning here in each of the last years. I do have pulled up right now at least conference statistics for this year. Right now, offensively, Wayne State is 7th. Defensively, they're right on that margin at 5th, and then kind of overall offensive defensive margin, Wayne State is 7th right now, minus 1.4. So it does kind of match up with their overall record right now at even 500 everywhere. But yeah, those are some really great insights that you were able to find out for what makes a GLIAC conference champion right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you even messaged me after I found this and I shared it with you, and you're like, so you just have to have good defense and acceptable offense. And like, admittedly,
that was a very simplistic way of putting it, but
it is, but it very much boils down to that. So, I mean, I enjoyed looking at that, and it tells me that like, I don't think the team is that far off. At this point in time, think we need to do a better job of developing the bigs. I really do. And I think we need to do a little bit better of a job of focusing on rebounding and free throw percentage. I mean, free throw percentage, I don't know if you still happen to have those stats pulled up. But a low free throw percentage when you're rebounding, you're going up for rebounds, you're going to get fouled every so often. You're going to make it to the line. You got to be able to make your free throws. Since 2021, that says like if you can't do that, you're not going to be at the top of the conference.
Yeah, right now Wayne State is 6th with a averaging 73.3%. It's actually a really tight grouping between most of the GLIAC. Your leader is actually Roosevelt. They are about 78.6%, and they lead it. Fair State is next at about 75.4. Northern Michigan 75. Again, another kind of anomaly. Saginaw Valley, they're towards the bottom, but in terms of free throw percentage, they make them 74.9. Parkside 73.9, and then Wayne State 73.3. So it is a very tight grouping, and then going all the way down to Davenport's at 66.6%. So they're kind of the outlier there. Then Grand Valley at about 70%. So still a tight grouping, again, ranging from 78% to 66%. Wayne State pretty much right in the middle. So
yeah. So you kind of already mentioned it, but the Wayne State men's basketball team is currently a 12-12 overall, 9-9 in the GLIAC. And this weekend we got coming up is a big one. But before we talk about the upcoming weekend, Lake Superior State did get a big away win over Grand Valley. That certainly did not put Wayne State in a better position for a top four seed. Again, top four seeds get a home game the first round of GLIAC tournament, which would happen on the Wednesday before the weekend semifinals and final. By way of tiebreakers, Wayne State is in the GLIAC tournament for the third year in a row. So that is fantastic news. We're not going to have to sweat it out like a couple seasons ago when we were at Saginaw Valley ready to storm the court. We're already in. Now it's just a matter of where they play. And, again, with the possibility of a first round home game up for grabs, if my math is correct, Sangster, a Wayne State sweep this weekend plus a Purdue Northwest loss gives us a home game in round one. And it doesn't matter which one Purdue Northwest loses to, but if they're able to get a loss and Wayne State can win both games, that gives us a home game.
Yeah, and you're right there. I was running some of the permutations of how that would work out. It's interest. So Wayne State, preview ahead, they play Lake Superior State this Thursday. They'll be playing Saginaw Valley on Saturday. Lake Superior State, again, playing Wayne State on Thursday. They play Purdue Northwest on Saturday, and then Purdue Northwest plays Saginaw Valley and then Lake Superior State. So it's a little strange, but basically how it's going to end up is if Wayne State and Purdue Northwest end up with a tied record, Wayne State is going to lose that tiebreaker there because unfortunately Wayne State dropped both games against Purdue Northwest. They don't go to the next level. However, if Wayne State and Lake Superior State tie, Wayne State has the tiebreaker over Lake Superior State. I'm forgetting if Wayne State ends up winning that first game against Lake Superior State, it'd be because they've got 2 wins over Lake Superior State, and I can't remember what the situation is if Lake Superior State wins against Purdue Northwest, but it ends up working out. But on top of that, Wayne State has to go out and basically sweep both of these games right now.
Yeah, luckily they're at home. I mean, and this is definitely, if there's ever been a weekend to have your 2 best games, this is that one. It puts you in the best situation going into the GLIAC tournament. Who knows what happens after that, but just getting there, putting yourself in that good round one home game, and then, everything up the standings after that is, not really up to you to decide what happens. So just an absolute big time weekend. You mentioned the Thursday home game against Lake Superior State, and then Saturday, Saginaw Valley comes on in. Saginaw Valley is they're playing for a spot. They're not guaranteed in the GLIAC tournament right now, so it's pretty much a log jam between Saginaw Valley Ferris and Davenport. So Saginaw is going to be coming in looking for a big time win. The complete flip of what we just talked about, where they're coming in trying to win to get into the tournament. It's a big one. It's a really big one.
Yeah, it is exactly what you said. Right now, you got Saginaw Valley, Ferris, and Davenport, all at 7 wins. Davenport's a little weird right now. They have an extra game that they played against Grand Valley, so both of them have 19 games played right now. The rest of the conference has 18. So, yeah, and a huge weekend for Wayne State. Huge weekend for me. It's my birthday on Thursday.
Woo!
Also, perfect timing for Wayne State Country Night. I am 100% ready for that. Might be having some extra old college friends coming to that one. Might be having some extra old college friends coming to the men's game as well. So on Saturday. So big stuff there. Again, really excited for country night and then for senior night as well. Big stuff from some of these guys that have been playing here.
Yeah, no doubt. And then over on the women's basketball side, they're currently at 20-6 overall, 15-3 in GLIAC play. They are locked into the GLIAC tournament, and they've already locked in a home game. So they're going to be home at the Wayne State Fieldhouse on Wednesday, March 4th, I believe is what that is. We'll be talking about that next week. We're not going to be there. We're going to be out of town. So lo siento. We don't make the rules. We just book the flights and hotels and plans and all that stuff. So bummer that we won't be able to be around for that one. But nonetheless, congratulations to the Wayne State women's basketball team. The opportunity for the 2 seed does exist. So I actually didn't look up what happened, but Michigan
Fer-
Tech did play Ferris. I believe Ferris won that one.
Ferris won that one. Yep.
Okay, so Ferris still has a game over Wayne State, and we are tied with them 1-1. So I don't know exactly. I think Sangster, you might have a little bit more
Yeah.
information on how that tiebreaker works because head-to-head record we're both going to be the same.
Yeah. So right now, Ferris has 2 games remaining. They've got Grand Valley and they've got Davenport. Um, Grand Valley ended up beating Davenport yesterday, which at this point means the regular season title is out of reach. Thank you, the rest of the GLIAC, for not being able to step up at this point. Unless something crazy happens, right now Grand Valley has locked up that what do you call it, GLIAC regular season title. Ferris, in theory, could tie them for it. Still wouldn't impact the seeding in any way. So at this point, right now, if you're looking for Wayne State to get that second seed, we'll explain what that means for them in a second. But if you want Wayne State to get that second seed, you gotta root for Grand Valley against Ferris in this one, and it makes me throw up as I say that. Um, Basically, how the tiebreakers are going right now. Wayne State tying with Ferris State, which means that uh, Ferris would have beaten Grand Valley and loses to Davenport. That would get Wayne State the third seed because they'd go all the way to the third tiebreaker, which is road conference winning percentage. Ferris State is really good. Wayne State's was not as good. But uh, if Wayne State ties with Ferris State, if they lose to Grand Valley and then beat Davenport, that gets Wayne State the second seed by way of the second tiebreaker, because at that point, uh, Wayne State would they have they're 1-1 against the best team in the conference. That's Grand Valley. So at that point, you wouldn't have Ferris State also having uh, the best record against the best team in the conference. Again, 1-1. So yeah, just how the tiebreakers work out, Wayne State would actually win that in the second tiebreaker. So that's how they would get the second seed there. So again, you're really hoping that that Grand Valley can end up winning this one, because barring any weird upsets in the GLIAC tournament, the difference between a 2 and a 3 seed means that you're not seeing Grand Valley until the championship round, which, hey, you'd like to make it as far as possible in whatever tournament you're playing, be it the conference tournament, be it the NCAA tournament. Yeah, you play who is in front of you, but you still want to have the best shot at getting as far as possible. So that's the implications of what's going on this week. But it all boils down to Wayne State handling their business this week, because they've also got 2 teams coming up to the Wayne State Fieldhouse that are both hungry, both have an outside chance of making the GLIAC tournament. Coaching cliche, they're both well coached. It's the GLIAC. Anybody can beat anybody any given night. But still really something Wayne State should handle their business on. So again, first and foremost, they got Lake Superior State coming in just like the men. Lake Superior State women's team right now is 7-19, 4-14 in conference play. And again, following it up on Saturday, Saginaw Valley right now is 6-20 and also 4-14 in conference. So you look at that and you say, this is Wayne State's time to handle their business. Again, really must-win game. It implies some kind of desperation, but more of should win, and I think will win.
Yeah, I mean, and one other thing to throw on those on the standings. I mean, the difference between a 2 and a 3 seed. I mean, if you're a 2 seed, I don't know the likelihood that the Grand Valley drops their first round game in the GLIAC tournament. But if that were to happen, the
Yeah,
next highest seed is then the host team. And I mean, that is huge. That is a huge difference. The odds
yep,
of the 1 and 2 seed both losing in round one, way
pretty.
less likely. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I guarantee you the odds of Grand Valley losing round one is probably 3%. The odds of both team losing are probably 0.2% or whatever
Yeah,
the actual number is. It's probably pretty low. So there's a
something
big
like that.
difference there as well, just to put yourself into a good situation. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, saying so that this is another one of those like uh, uh, very necessary wins for Wayne State. I mean, they can go out and win these two games, close it out at home, get ready for the GLIAC tournament, and go make it happen. I mean, no team in the GLIAC should scare this team. They should respect every team in the GLIAC, but like they've beaten I believe they've beaten every team in the GLIAC so far this season, with a loss to Grand Valley, a loss to Ferris, and insert third loss here, Northern, of course. So they've beaten everybody at least one time, which is fantastic. All
Yeah,
right,
and
Sangster, I'll throw it back. I'll throw it back to you because I know you wanted to talk 1,000 point club again, but what do you got?
yeah. So again, Saturday is going to be senior day. Looks like we got Gabby Luchka, Carrington Gordon, Mackenzie Miller, Taylor Thompson, Ashley Bauer, JC Tubergen. They're all listed as seniors. Not sure if any of them are considering what do you call it? Uh, Graduate eligibility. Not sure how that's going to work out, but big things here right now are both Gabby Luchka and Taylor Thompson uh, are also looking at the 1,000 point club right now. I got Taylor's pulled up. Let's see, career. She is at, as of the last game, 993 points. I think if she has her average game, which is averaging 9.4 points over her career, 15.2 points this season, she's looking to join the 1,000 point club on Thursday. And same with Gabby. Right now, she is sitting at 988 points. She's averaging 14.5 points this season alone. And consider that, yes, she was on the team on 2022 and 23. She didn't score any points that year, just how it worked out, just joining the team after coming from Northwood. But she scored 988 points in basically 3 seasons. So, and she's looking to join the 1,000 point club, I think, in this Thursday's game as well. So, really awesome stuff from them. Shout out to Brady and Kevin for bringing that one up. I totally didn't catch that before. And also, a question they posed is whether or not Wayne State has ever had three 1,000 point players at the same time in the same season, and and that would mean having three players that have reached 1,000 points or above in a single season, not having like a player in the 1,000 point club and then like a freshman just starting out. So it has not happened. The closest was in 1991, the 91-92 season, when you had points leader Monique Johnson and then the number three on the list, Mary Rogers. They were both playing together in 1991 and 92 through 92. And then in 92-93, you had Monique and Julie, number 10, Julie Philpus, like I said, in 92-93. So never had three at the same time. Wayne State has had two twice in the early 90s, but really big stuff from this team. Awesome to see that Wayne State women's basketball is having this outstanding season, and it kind of shows why that you have, some of the three best players to play for Wayne State now are on the same team at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good stuff. And then talking about some of the rankings here, I did happen to just look up from the WBCA. They do have Wayne State in 27th right now. We're still receiving votes. I still think it's bull crap. I think we should be a ranked team, but whatever. And then some of the regional ranking I see you got here, Sangster, that were released on February 22nd. Wayne State is number 4 seed in the region, so that is fantastic. Same with GLIAC tournament, barring anything from Grand Valley. They're looking like they're going to be the top seed in the Midwest. And that's what we got. That is what that's what this weekend means for the Wayne State women's basketball team. And we're going to be talking about them for a while. I know we spent a little bit of time on them, but they got a couple more weeks of us chatting about them. So,
Yeah, we spent a little bit of time, but like you said early on, right now they are the team of the winter, and they're still definitely showing it. The rest of the Midwest regional ranking right now, like I said, Grand Valley is number one, Ferris number two, Northwood number three, Wayne State number four, Northern Michigan number five, Malone six, Missouri St. Louis seventh, and Thomas More eighth. And then I think it's the top eight seeds move. Yes, it's the
yep.
top eight seeds that would be in. Right now on the outside looking in, you got Michigan Tech and you got Maryville in Missouri right now. So again, Michigan Tech, they've kind of had a really odd year where I don't think it's where they wanted to be. again, it is what it is right now. They're sitting at a record of 15-10. There's really no other teams in the Midwest region that have double-digit losses. So, yeah, I think they got in there really on strength of the schedule right now. Like I said, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 GLIAC teams in right now. So, yeah, unfortunately for them, Michigan Tech's kind of on the outside looking in. I don't, barring a GLIAC tournament win, I don't see how they get in to this one. But yeah, it's still a really strong Midwest region we got.
Yeah, so good luck to our basketball teams as they get to stay home this weekend, close out regular season, and get ready for the GLIAC tournament and postseason play. Really quick here, the Wayne State women's tennis team currently sitting at 1-1 overall. They will be away on Thursday to take on Saginaw Valley before coming back home on Saturday to take on Hillsdale. And then also the Wayne State men's tennis team will be in action. They're currently at 4-1 overall. On Saturday, they'll be home to take on Hillsdale. And then Sunday, they will also be home to take on Case Western Reserve, former PAC opponent, Sangster. Also, Hillsdale, former GLIAC opponent. How fun is that?
Yep, big fun stuff. Looking at the baseball team, they are 7-1, have not started conference play yet. Excuse me, they've got a weekend series. Excuse me again. Against Finley. Finley comes in with a record of 4-4. So we're getting a Friday game, doubleheader on Saturday, and then a game on Sunday. And is and last but not least, on Saturday and Sunday, we've got the GLIAC Indoor Championships being held in University Center, Michigan, Cokeville Township, at the Saginaw Valley State University Fieldhouse. That'll be going on, like I said, on Saturday and Sunday, end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, I mean, big time stuff for our track and field team. As we've been talking about some of the big time finishes, we got a lot of NCAA provisional times that we've set throughout the season. Of course, we have GLIAC championships coming up as we just talked about, and then not the weekend of March 7th, but the weekend after that, March 14th, is indoor championships. My goodness,
Yep.
I blanked on that one for a minute. So, I mean, we're going to be talking postseason stuff for this track and field team for a while. It's going to line up perfectly with basketball. So I think those are definitely going to be the sports that we're going to be focusing on here for the next week or two, talking about everything we have coming up and some of those athletes.
Yep. And I got one more note on baseball. I was trying to figure out where they'd be playing at. They're actually going to be playing in Cincinnati, Ohio, at Xavier's baseball field
Really?
over the weekend. So that's really cool stuff. I'm looking at some pictures right now. It's really nice. Basically the outfield is most of their campus beyond the gate. So it looks really nice. Big opportunity for them to go out to play in a different spot, but hopefully the weather will be decent out there. I imagine it's probably a little better than it is here right now, but
Yeah, you would think just a little bit better. So that's what we got coming up, Sangster. Lots of action. I know we're going to be in attendance for some basketball. We're definitely going to be following along with our tennis teams. Baseball, I'd like to follow along with as I get the chance. And then track and field, big time stuff. Hoping we get a couple podium finishes for our, some of the individuals, definitely for the team as a whole. But with that, I think that's it, Sangster. Anything else to add?
nope, we're good.
Awesome. Well, we'll appreciate everybody listening in on episode 122 of the Warrior House podcast.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Wayne State Warrior.